Yes!
Hey there, mate. He's walking with me.
I can depend on you.
I've learnt that when I come up here, I might as well pack the medical bag because this always seems to turn into some sort of working holiday. I get a call this morning. Chris, heard you're in town. Want to come and see a saltwater crocodile? What's not to love about a saltwater croc called Agro, who's 4 metres long?
Agro is a resident of the Cairns Rainforestation Nature Park, and this big boy has got himself into a lot of trouble.
How you going?
Hey,
How are you?
Chris. Pleased to meet you, Annabelle.
Hey, Annabelle.
Hello, how you going?
Hello, how you going?
This is Agro.
A few months ago, this 4-metre crocodile broke his jaw biting down on a steel fence.
The reason I'm here is to check on whether Agro's broken jaw has healed. But this is a crocodile that is happy to try to eat through metal. So, for me, that's not a great source of comfort right now.
He comes for us.
The risk here is that infection has managed to get into the bone. If that has happened, then the bone starts to crumble, starts to dissolve away, and one day he'll bite down on something and the jaw will just snap. If that's the case, then he has to have his jaw amputated. So I've worked with alligators before.
An alligator of, say, 2 to 3 metres could be in an enclosure like this with other alligators in a pond, and I could walk up and examine it. If you put yourself in the same position with 2-metre estuarine crocodiles, they'd attack you. When you try and handle them, they will fight, they'll head shake, they'll roll, they'll tail flick. They really give you a workout.
Right, guys, everyone want to come down this way? Hang on to that for us. Okay, guys, we have to get this animal out, get him the sedation quickly. If we tell you to get away from the animal, get away from the animal, don't think twice.
There's no room for heroes when we're dealing with a large animal like this.
The team are all on high alert for a very good reason.
What happened to his mates? Didn't he come over here with like 9 other...
Yep, he killed them all.
You kidding?
No, he's killed every single one of them.
Jesus.
Chris's holiday is rapidly turning into a nightmare.
Agro arrived with 9 others. Agro's killed off the 9 others. That history makes you question why I'm going in there at all.
Is this the snake bite?
Yes.
Back in Sydney, 5-year-old Lexi has been admitted to the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH after being bitten by a snake.
All right. The biggest concern is that Lexi's probably been bitten by a brown snake. Now, these snakes are absolutely deadly. Most dogs can be dead within an hour if they've had a lethal bite. Okay, Bubby. Just got to get these tubes into you. They can go downhill very quickly, so we've just got to move fast.
Lexi's owner has brought in the snake that attacked the little Schnauzer.
This is the culprit that's bitten Lexi. This is a brown snake. They're really deadly. You can see that she's had a go at the snake. There's bite marks in it all over its body. She's had a good chew.
Hey, Lexi.
She is bleeding everywhere. One of the things that brown snakes do is that they stop their blood from clotting, so she's just hemorrhaging. We just have to get that anti-venom into her. Don't want to waste any more time.
While the anti-venom takes effect, Lisa has some devastating news for Lexi's owner, Tennille.
The complications that can happen with a brown snake bite are paralysis. It can paralyse their breathing muscles, and worst case scenario is that they can die. And most of the time it's from having a ventilatory problem, failing to breathe.
Yeah, I'm just a bit stressed. She's in good hands though, so we just have to wait and see.
Poor Lexi is feeling terrible right now. She's absolutely terrified, and now she's actually fighting for her life.
he's going to go. He's going to move out. Yep, let pressure on, let pressure on. Stop the rope. Yeah, pull out the rope.
In the Rainforestation Nature Park in Cairns, a tug of war has broken out.
Okay, he's going to roll. Pull on it, pull on it.
The keepers are trying to capture aggro so Chris can examine the notorious killer's broken jaw.
Let him roll, let him roll, let him roll. Ease off tension, ease off tension. Now pull again. Okay, he's going to roll.
Death roll is a defence mechanism. He knows that by rolling, he puts whatever's threatening him off balance and essentially intimidates them.
Pull, 1, 2, 3, pull. Go, pull. Okay, he's going to roll. Okay, pull back that way now.
To look at how he's rolling and how he's fighting, 7 people still can't subdue aggro. It's amazing.
Everyone swing back out to the top of the oval. A bit more. And walk back. Okay.
That's hard work. It's just
Not
really playing ball at the moment.
Quick move. Straight lines.
The really tricky thing about this battle we're having with aggro is that the biggest killer of any reptile like this is stress, because they build up a lot of lactic acid. Their whole body becomes so acidic, it can actually kill them.
Okay, now stop.
Chris and the team have finally managed to restrain aggro.
Hang on. Righto. Okay, Nat.
Okay, just hold. Don't pull, just let him sit.
Okay. Good.
Now Chris must sedate the massive saltwater croc before he can begin his examination.
One of the most interesting injections I've ever given. We'll see how we go.
The infamous aggro has killed 9 of his lagoon mates. And he broke his jaw trying to eat through a metal fence.
Right, it's in. It's amazing he didn't move. Even though he's now been still for a while, no one can relax because this drug here, it doesn't anaesthetise him, it just relaxes him. But he's still capable of an explosive outburst.
Chris, you're going to jump in behind me. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The important thing here is just keeping him nice and secure, because the next step is to actually look inside his mouth. For that, there can be no risk of rolling, can be no risk of moving. He has to be totally rock solid secure.
Everyone apply pressure.
You're good. There you go.
When that choc goes inside aggro's mouth, the sound that it makes sends a shiver down my spine. I could hear the wood splitting, and this is a thick log, and my hand is about to go in there. Never use enough duct tape, and that's never more true right now. Happy with that?
It's your arm.
So what I'm feeling for is any softness in the bone here. There's no softness. There's no signs of pain there. There's no loose teeth either. There's no sign of infection. What I'd be looking for is any little sinuses or little weeping areas, but the line of skin over his jawbone there is very much intact. So it's healed up.
Excellent, that's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
It does seem like an extraordinary amount of time and effort and exertion to put into what is a 30-second check of his mouth, but aggro could quite easily, if he did have a weakened jaw, chew down on something and fracture it again. Look at his jaw today, it's not going to happen.
Hey, come in. We're going into the corner. That went perfectly, so I'm happy. He's 20 years of age now, he's going to live hopefully another 80 or more years. Okay, tape's off. On the count of 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Give that a bit of a shake.
There you go.
Okay, gate. Matt, you got that gate and pull that gate for us?
Still move, can't he? Really, if there is any advice for aggro, it's to stick to the major food groups. Steel isn't one of them. There we go.
That was excellent. Very happy with that.
All right, my work here is done. Thank you. I hope I showed you what a kid from the city can do sometimes.
Oh, you did good, kid.
Okay, sweetie pie. You just gotta let us treat you. Just go with it.
At Sash, miniature Schnauzer Lexi has been bitten by a deadly brown snake.
Well, she's had 1 vial of antivenin, so she should be able to start to improve in terms of walking. That's a girl. Let's just see how you can stand. Lexi, can you stand? Oh, no. I think that's distressing her a little bit.
Even after receiving the antivenom, Lexi's condition is still critical.
Her clotting times are so high, I imagine that she's had a really lethal dose. I think we should probably give her another vial.
A second vial of antivenom is needed.
Let's hit him hard. I think it's going to be the best thing for her. All right, Tal, don't struggle. OK, you can still wag your tail. Just got to try and keep her as calm as possible. All right, darling. All I'm hoping is that we've got antivenom into her in time. These snakes are absolutely deadly. Most dogs can be dead within an hour if they've had a lethal bite. Lexi's still alive, which is amazing in itself, but that could change very, very quickly. We've got to watch her closely.
After surviving his encounter with aggro, Chris is making a detour to catch up with some friends at the Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre.
Hey.
Oh, Chris, hi.
Look, I couldn't come to Cairns and not call by and say hi. How you going?
Good, good. How are you?
Full house as always, huh?
Full house, yes. Extra full house at the moment, unfortunately.
The size of this one.
I know.
When everyone imagines the Great Barrier Reef up here, they think of this really fertile area, but after Cyclone Yasi came through, all that seagrass that turtles normally eat got covered in silt. There's no food anymore. Every single tank here is full. It just gives you an idea of the scale of the problem that the turtles are facing up here.
With this starvation, in the last 2 years, we've had an 800% increase in strandings up the east coast.
Now, I've got to ask, is Nellie still here?
She's next door. Go and have a look.
Right here?
Right there.
It's my girl. Looks good, Jen.
She looks great, doesn't she?
Chris met Nellie on his last visit to Cairns.
She's put on about 8 kilos since you last saw her.
Back then, her body was under siege from a debilitating virus.
Fibropapillomas can be such a problem for turtles that they can essentially kill them. The problem with Nellie was that they were covering all around her flippers, which meant she couldn't swim, and she was no chance of being released in that situation. Well done, girl. You know what's amazing?
It is.
All those lumps that were just everywhere, they're all gone.
I know. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's not like we're seeing a couple of lumps still lingering. They're all gone.
I know.
So that's a combination of the surgery, but also that vaccine.
Also the vaccine, yeah. The surgery and the vaccine together. And all her lumps are gone. It's fantastic. What happens is that the tumours are taken off the animal and a vaccine's made up with the tumours from her body. With this vaccine, this is the first trial that's been done in Australia, and it's actually worked.
So she's an Australian first?
She's an Australian first.
Wow. So really without the surgery and probably most importantly without the vaccine, she would have died?
She would have died.
Wow.
Out in the wild, she would have died.
Hey, Jen, I need a hand.
What's the problem?
We just got a turtle. I think that it's been hit by a boat.
Oh, OK. I'll come out and have a look.
You want a hand?
Yeah, Chris, could you come out and have a look too?
Suddenly, an emergency patient arrives. This turtle appears to have been carved up by a motorboat.
Got 2 big wounds there. No, she's alive. Where was she found?
Yorkeys Beach, just in the bay.
Wow, see, this one's moving when she breathes. So that's deep. I mean, her lungs are sitting right underneath here. So if they're forcing these little fragments up, then that cut must go the whole way through to her lungs. There's a little graze in the top of the head too, which I'd say, I think she's ducked her head in there. I think it's a propeller. So the boat's come along, the propeller's cut in there as it's been rotating. It's gone whack, whack. These wounds look really dramatic, and they are. They're quite deep. And if they were just, say, another inch further forward, they would have taken off her head.
Lucky to be alive.
Very, very lucky. Just here? Yeah. I mean, this is the one that worries me a lot.
Because it's down so close to her lung.
Yeah. Underneath those wounds are her lungs. So for those to be damaged would be absolutely catastrophic. This one's really deep here, but this wound here almost has a bit of scar tissue in the middle of it. So this may not actually be a new injury. It could be something that's happened a week or 2 ago, and she's just been struggling to survive out there and eventually floated in close enough to shore where she's been found. So very lucky. So what I want to do, Jen, is just dribble some saline in along here.
Chris is now testing for lung damage.
When she breathes, if that bubbles, then what that's showing is that there's air leaking out of her lungs. It's leaking out the sides of the cracks, but there's enough in there that if there was any sort of leak of the lungs, it'd be bubbling out, and it's not.
Very lucky turtle.
So that's a good start, but it is just a start because the worry is that even though the lung isn't punctured, these gashes are going deep enough that they're exposing the organs. We know that because each time she breathes, the flap lifts up. So it's touching the lungs. What I'd like to do is really clean it up. Hey, it's all right. This might just sting a little bit. The unfortunate thing really is that cracks in shells heal a lot slower than cracks in bone. So there's a reason I'm using so many antiseptic washes, so many antibiotic creams and antibiotic injections, and that's because infection is the #1 worry here. It's the last thing we have to do. Yeah, didn't like that. You got me. You got me a good one. You know the other problem with you? You don't have a name yet. So I was thinking, propeller, there's an Ella in propeller. If you're okay with that, is that gonna work? Ella? Yeah? What do you think? Is that a yes? While it was unlucky for her to be hit by a boat when she came up for a breath, she was certainly lucky to be found floating close to shore on what is quite a busy beach. And then to come in here, hopefully things are turning around for her. Yeah. Hey. You gonna splash me? Is that what we've come to? Come on.
Ella will now recuperate at the centre, and Jenny has come up with a special thank you for Chris.
How would you like to have a nice trip over to a tropical island and spend a day over there when we're actually going to release 2 healthy turtles over there?
You might be talking my language now.
Great.
Jenny's propositioned me to a night on Fitzroy Island. Turtles, of course, are involved. But it's actually quite nice that I've seen so much of sick turtles now to actually see a turtle at the other end of the journey where they're being released. The happy part. It's going to be a nice change.
After treating Ella, Chris is now hoping to get his holiday back on track.
The locals around here seem to love to give me tip-offs about animals, but now they're insisting I check out a restaurant. Apparently the fish there is amazing. Hey, how you going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just on the table, everyone's telling me to come here for the fish.
Yep.
What's the fish that everyone wants me to try? Is that on your menu?
Nope. I think you may have been stitched up here. Come on over. His name's Fatso. We call him Fatty.
Turns out Chris has been lured here for yet another patient. Fatty is the famous pet of restaurant owner Mia.
I'm pleased that you're here, actually.
What? You came here for a meal.
Hey, you can have a meal. Don't worry about that. The thing is, he's just had this little growth on his head. It's been on his head for, getting on to a couple of weeks now.
It looks big. I mean, it's certainly sticking out the top of his head quite a bit, and it's in a very sensitive area between his eyes there. So it would be at the stage now where you'd think it'd have to be worrying him. With Fatty in the pond, it's hard for me to get a really good look at that lump, but going how quickly it's grown, my worry is that it is cancer. It's getting to the stage where it's going to be growing into his brain or into his eyes. And then it gets really nasty, and that's what worries me. I mean, we have 2 options here. We can sit back and just let Fatty live his life, but it's growing quickly. Unless it's removed, it's going to really start playing havoc with him pretty soon.
Yeah. It's definitely a worry because, I mean, it's so big. It must hurt. I'm hoping that it's easy fix.
If there is something that can be done, don't laugh, with surgery.
Surgery on a fish.
Yeah.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm serious. It is done. Not that often, but it is done. And that, to me, may be his only option. It might seem like it's a bit over the top and overly dramatic to operate on a goldfish, but why is Fatty any different to a dog or a cat or a pet bird?
The kids love him, and we love him. He's part of our family.
He's some sort of local identity, is he?
Yeah, actually, a regular gave him to us because he outgrew their pond, and we've had him for 2 years since we've been open.
He has family, he has friends, he has fans and he has feelings. So if there is an opportunity to operate on him, I'm going to take it.
I'm in the process of writing a book about Fatty, so I'd like to just get it fixed and hopefully have an ending to a story. Nice ending.
You're not making it easy.
No, I'm not making it easy.
And of course, the final chapter, it's not written. The final chapter, it gets written based on what happens. It's a lot of pressure. When we have to anaesthetise him in a totally different way to how we do every other animal, so it'll be tough, but I'm hopeful.
Got the right man on the job.
Well, let's say you mean that. If this doesn't go exactly to plan, then things could literally go belly up very quickly. Doug.
Wow, Chris.
How are you?
What have you got there, mate?
It's good to see you, mate.
Oh, look at that. That's a big lump for a little fish, isn't it? Come on, we'll see what we can do.
Righto, mate.
In Cairns, Chris and his tiny patient Fatty have arrived at the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital.
You can see it. It's a pretty decent lump. It really jumps off the top of his head there. It's almost got two parts too, that bigger part over to one side, and then just towards the front there's another small little lump there.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to get out.
Yeah. He just doesn't have a lot of skin to play with on that forehead of his. That's what worries me.
The Goldfish is about to undergo a risky operation to remove a tumour from his head. Dr. Doug English will be assisting Chris with the delicate procedure.
The lump's got to come off. Hopefully the fish will be tough enough to withstand that surgery, but otherwise he's going to die. That's a big lump, and if it's growing rapidly, it's some sort of a cancer for sure.
Adding to the pressure, this is the first operation Chris has ever performed on a fish.
Fatty has to be incredibly tough to get through this because this is way out of his comfort zone. It's just a massive, massive ask for him to get through this.
So my worry is that if things don't go to plan here, it could get nasty quickly.
Oh, hello, sweetie pie. Yeah. Lexi's had 2 vials of antivenin now, and if she still can't clot her blood, she'll need a 3rd vial. Okay, Lex, just a little sting. Well, she's certainly not oozing with blood like she was last time.
At Sash, it's been more than 12 hours since miniature Schnauzer Lexi was bitten by a deadly brown snake.
Have a good sleep, all right? This blood test is going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us if she's still got circulating venom in her system. If it's normal, we know that we're doing the right thing. We know that we're getting there. That's no good. So her clotting time basically hasn't really changed since last time. It means that she's still got circulating venom in her system, and Lexi's going to need another vial of antivenin.
You're a good girl, you know that.
Based on how much water is in this tank, we work out the dosage of the anaesthetic, and then it goes into the tank and hopefully swirls around, and in that time, absorbs it through his gills. Here we go, Fatty. All right, buddy, have a good sleep. You see already he's starting to slow down in there? Yeah, he's ready. All right.
It doesn't get any more foreign for a fish than being out of water. So the fact is I have to be quick and precise and get this operation done as soon as I can.
I'm ready, so I'll get him out and then we'll get going.
To keep the little fish alive, oxygen will need to be constantly pumped through his gills.
Doug's job is as important as mine, because that is to make sure that Fatty's gills are oxygenated and also that he gets the anaesthetic drug through his system at all times. If Fatty's oxygen levels fall too far, then he won't make it through.
We need as much water over the gills as possible.
I'm just trying to cut as close to the edge of the lump as possible because we just don't have anything to play with. There's no spare skin really to get this back together, so this is going to be quite a difficult removal. As if operating on a patient as tiny as Fatso isn't hard enough, he flies off the table and my heart nearly stops. We now have to get him back into that water,
as soon as we can.
Okay, that's out. So that's it there. A decent lump.
When I get the lump off, it's firm, and there's no pus inside it. I've got no doubt that this is a tumour. But I've managed to get a good margin around the outside, and the fact there's bone underneath means it's unlikely to have spread. What I do know, though, is that if it wasn't removed, it would have killed him.
Can we just avoid the wound for just a second? I'll put some super glue on.
Now the lump is off, Chris will seal the lesion with super glue.
He's been left with a pretty big wound on his head, so it's a lot for him to get through.
Doug's doing a great job flushing those gills with the water that contains the oxygen as well as the anaesthetic drug, but still, Fatty just doesn't look right.
His eyes are starting to roll a bit.
It's a bit of a worry, eh? Because he looks dead.
Fatso's now been out of the water for 15 minutes and his body clearly isn't getting the oxygen it really needs. We have to get him back in the water right now if he's to be any chance.
Just give him in here. There's just no movement at the moment. I don't actually know if he's alive right now. Come on, Fatty. I mean, normally he flaps his own gills around as a way of getting that oxygen in, but I'm trying to do it a bit for him now.
I'm just worried that Fatso's been out of the water for too long. Right now, it's not looking good.
There's no way he couldn't have gone into some sort of oxygen debt there. Come on, Fatty. Come on. There you go, a bit of movement.
Yeah. At last, Fatty gives Chris the sign he's been waiting for.
So he's starting to really gasp in and try to get some extra water into his gills. So he's coming around. Wow.
Need a drink after this.
I think I'm okay. It was a very stressful few minutes getting that done, and Fatty is now swimming around, and that is a big relief.
He's looking good now, isn't he?
Yeah, thank goodness.
I reckon he's going to make it through.
We did well.
And best of all, you can still eat at that restaurant.
Yeah, thank goodness. I love that restaurant.
All I want to do is get Fatty back to the restaurant as quickly as I can so I can relax and Fatty can see Mia.
Mate, thank you. Great work. Oh, let's get you home, huh?
Did someone order some fish?
How'd you go?
A very special fish.
Oh my God!
Look at him.
His lump's off.
I know. He looks great. He looks amazing.
Oh, Fatty. Oh, that's great.
He's only a goldfish, but, you know, he's part of the family, so, yeah, Chris has done a great job. Very happy.
Thank you so much.
So excited. I love it. I'm so excited.
This is the first operation you've done on a fish too, yeah? Or is it not?
Who told you that? Yes, it is, all right?
Well done.
And it went okay.
Yay!
That was hands down one of the best reactions I've ever had to any patient coming home, and it's almost as if she didn't quite expect him to come home. And look, I don't want to put words into your mouth. The final chapter of this book sort of writes itself. Just be kind, all right?
It's a happy ending.
It is.
Thanks, Chris.
It
That's
is.
so awesome.
I've got to say, when I first walked in here and was told about how amazing Fatty is, I thought, you know what? He's probably special, but after spending a few hours with him, I get it. Fatty's a big deal. It deserves to be. Thank you.
Go.
Cheers, Fatty. I don't think there's ever a bad day to be on a tropical island, but this one looks like a pretty good one. Here they are, with an extra passenger, of course. I should have known.
Oh, hi, Chris, you made it. That's
Who
great.
is in here?
This is little Mickey, ready to be released tomorrow.
You're ready to go now, aren't you, Mick? Yeah?
Next day, Chris meets up with Jenny for a 45-minute ferry trip out to Fitzroy Island. On the island is a new 5-star resort for sick and injured turtles that need to be rehabilitated before being released.
The owner of Fitzroy Island offered us some land over there. We're only in stage 1 at the moment, but we've still got 4 turtles over there. It's great. We can increase the numbers, we can increase the amount of tanks, and so when we do get these mass strandings, we'll be able to take up to another 20 turtles.
I woke you up, didn't I? You're an island man now. Come on. It's all right. You're ready to go now, aren't you? Actually, we're taking you on the journey, don't worry. Don't need to swim.
Thank you. Wow, look at this place. It's a perfect place for rehab if they want to rest up.
I know. Why would you want to leave?
So this is the Turtle Resort.
This is the Turtle Resort on Fitzroy Island.
Chris is about to find out he has a special link with one of the resort guests.
Who's this in here?
This is CB.
CB?
Yes. He's named after you.
Really?
He's named after you.
That's an incredible hindrance on the rest of his life, to be named after me. It'll hold him back. Trust me. Hello, buddy.
CB entered the rehab centre after being found starving to death in a local harbour. Now he's ready for release.
He's very feisty. Well done.
Okay. Oh, jeez. This is what a healthy turtle looks like, right? He is so overflowing with energy, and this is a really great sign that he's ready to be released. So where's this going to go?
So we'll stick that right there.
CB has been chosen to be fitted with a satellite tracker to provide valuable research data.
Why do you scrub his head?
Just to get all the algae off it. He's got to look good to go out there.
Is this a matchmaking service or a rehab centre? This is...
Bit of both here.
Well, clearly.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Feeling less like a vet and more like a beauty therapist with every minute that passes. I mean, we've had dermabrasion, some exfoliation. Any minute now I'm expecting a layer of varnish to be put on as well. It's some cleansing, and then all of a sudden there's filling going on. It does look good, buddy.
Hopefully we can just keep him still for a while.
All of this work that's going into what looks like beautifying CB's shell has a really important role, and that's to make sure this satellite tracker sticks on and stays on. It's like your own little backpack. That satellite tracker certainly looks big, but the reality is out in the ocean, the buoyancy of the water means it won't actually weigh anything. You won't even notice it's there.
Next step's the fiberglass?
It's just like putting a fin on a surfboard. I don't want to tell you how the last fin I put on a surfboard went. It didn't last for... How long do you want for this one? A year?
Yeah, Chris, a year would be very good, actually.
It lasted about a month, but this looks like a slightly better job. All right, that looks pretty good to me.
There's no air pockets?
No.
Job done.
With all that work done, we can now look forward to tomorrow and CB and Mickey getting released. Yeah, you know what? It's your last night in rehab. Tomorrow you go back home. Just don't act up tonight, all right? Because remember, with this tracker, I'm watching you. Yeah? Hmm?
Hi, Lexi. Hi, sweetie pie. How you feeling? You want to come out? Come out and give us cuddles? She's actually quite heavy. Oh my goodness, look at you. Look at you.
It's taken 3 vials of antivenom, but finally, Lexi has recovered from a deadly brown snake bite.
You're so much better, I know. Talking lots. Everything's going in the right direction. I'm really, really glad we gave her 3 vials of antivenin. This little girl would have died if we didn't treat her the way we did.
You needed those 3 vials, didn't you?
Yeah. Tennille warned me that she would be a very vocal dog, and Lexi hasn't stopped talking the whole time I've got her out. I know, darling. So much better. It's going to take her a few weeks to get totally back on her feet, but this is miraculous. Want to go see Mum? Yes? Want to go home? Do you want to go home? I know, darling.
Ready to go and get Lexi? Take Lexi home. Yeah, take Lexi home. This is Lockie, Lexi's big brother. He's a few months older, but they've been together since she was 4 weeks. So he's been at home for the last few days, moping a little. You looking forward to seeing Lex?
Let's go. You ready to go home?
For brother and sister, the separation is finally over.
Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Hello, chicken.
Such a gorgeous reunion between Lexi and Lockie. They absolutely love each other. The little tails were wagging, clearly best friends.
Should we go home? Yes, yes. What?
Tennille was so relieved to have Lexi back so soon. She was surprised she was even walking. I think the poor woman is so nervous now of having snakes come back. She just can't really relax, can't let her guard down, because how are you going to prevent them? She's always going to be worrying that another snake is going to come back, and Lexi for sure is going to go for it. Do you want that snake back?
No. I don't want to see it again.
Fair enough.
This CB's all rested up. Let's hope the other one's the same.
It's a big day for Chris and the team from the Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre.
You're going to go today back out into the ocean. It's good.
The finishing touches have been done to CB, including a coat of anti-fouling paint to stop algae and marine organisms attaching to his shell.
Oh, wow. You guys haven't been here all night, have you?
Yes. All night preparing him.
You are looking prepped and ready for takeoff, let me tell you. It's a flash job on your back.
He's definitely ready to go. There's no doubt about that.
If there wasn't already enough excitement around the release, the fact that CB has this tracker means we're going to know exactly where he is. So he's from Mackay. Is he going to head back there? Who knows?
Do you want to just check the tracker before we go, Chris?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just going to wait for the satellite to go across before it beeps.
Oh, that was one.
Yeah.
So it is working?
It is working.
Wow.
So he's ready to go. It's a great feeling because it means that you've done your job. It means that, you know, all the volunteers that have helped and everybody get these animals well, it's able to go back into the ocean.
Jenny isn't the only one excited by today's release.
The word's got round and everybody on the island will actually be down for the release today.
They've got a few friends, Jenny.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
It is popular. There's months and sometimes even over a year of hard work that goes in to providing this moment. And sometimes you don't even know they're going to make it through. But today, everyone gets their reward. The time's come now.
Mickey is the first turtle to head back into the ocean.
Ready? Off you go, all right? Good luck, mate. It's all yours, mate. The ocean's yours, mate. What a perfect swim. It was just graceful. And that's exactly what you want. Away it goes. It's been a long road, buddy. The rest of your life out here. We'll keep in touch, all right, with this.
Now it's CB's turn. With his tracker, he'll be providing important information.
You get out there, come on. Look at you. Are those little tears in your eyes? Well done. Congratulations.
Thanks for your help. Well, huh? Thanks for your help.
They're out in the really big pool now.
It's great to see you, man.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny Dusek from Bondi Vet. If you love our show and want to see more, plus some amazing content about pets and how to care for them, hit the subscribe button. Click that little notification bell and we'll see you on our next video.